The story of Financial Partners Credit Union is the story of hard work, innovation, and teamwork. It's the story of what's possible when an organization focuses on providing excellent service and value for its members. And it starts with a group of employees banding together to help build better lives for themselves and their families. It was 1937. The country was still reeling from the Great Depression, and the recent collapse of the banks was still fresh in people's minds. A group of 8 employees at North American Aviation Corporation saw their fellow co-workers unable to get credit or a fair return on their savings and thought, there must be a better way. That better way was to create a credit union, and in November 1937, NAA Employees Federal Credit Union was born with $900 in assets. Word spread about this new alternative to the banks, owned and operated by its members. Soon, the credit union was adding about 200 new members per month, and assets grew to over $20,000 by 1940. Then came World War II. During this time of crisis, North American Aviation manufactured the P-51 Mustang fighter plane and the B-25 bomber, the workhorses of the war effort. As its sponsor company was helping to win the war in the skies, the credit union also rose to the occasion, selling war bonds and setting aside money to make loans to returning veterans. Business was conducted from an office in a parking lot at North American's Inglewood plant, and Sproul McCloy was hired as the first full-time office manager. After the war, North American moved to Downey, which began the credit union's long association with the city. The 1950s were a time of prosperity and growth for the country, and for the credit union too. Housing boomed as recently returned soldiers started families and looked to buy their first homes. The credit union made its very first mortgage loan in 1955. It was a successful time, but just the warm-up for the boom that would come in the 1960s.
Each of the 2 hemispheres of Earth. Underneath it says...
It's a simple fact. Members of this credit union helped put men on the moon.
Now it is time to take longer strides.
After President Kennedy challenged the country to reach the moon by the end of the decade, the hard work began to make it a reality. North American Aviation was chosen to build key parts of the Apollo spacecraft, and throughout the decade, they were designed, built, and assembled in North American's Downey plant. In 1967, North American Aviation merged with Rockwell Standard Corporation. As the new North American Rockwell reached for the stars, the credit union was soaring too. By the end of the decade, Financial Partners was 11 times bigger than it was in 1960. The last part of the 20th century saw continued rapid change in the world and at the credit union. North American Rockwell changed its name to Rockwell International in 1973, and that same year, the credit union became Rockwell Federal Credit Union. Accounts were now computerized. ATMs started to become common. And an exciting new way of conducting business was also introduced, the fax machine. But soon these innovations were themselves made obsolete by the rise of personal computing, the internet, email, online banking, and bill pay.
Minus 10, 9, 8, we have a go for...
Rockwell International created America's next space project, the Space Shuttle, once again built in Downey. Rockwell Federal Credit Union continued its success too, serving over 52,000 members with more than $400 million in assets. The introduction of checking accounts, credit cards, ATM cards, and more transformed the credit union into a full-service financial institution. The end of the 90s brought even more changes. Rockwell International was acquired by Boeing Corporation in 1996. And due to declining aerospace contracts, the Downey factory was closed in 1999. But as the century came to a close, the credit union was ready for its next transformation. Rockwell FCU took a good look around, rolled up its sleeves, and got to work. In December 2000, Rockwell Federal Credit Union became Financial Partners Credit Union. Now as a state-chartered community credit union, FPCU had many new opportunities for growth. It would continue to serve the aerospace industry, but would now also serve community members in Orange County and most of Los Angeles County. Then in 2005, CEO Nader Moghadam came on board with a new vision for growth, innovation, and service excellence. The credit union's vision of building lifetime financial partnerships places member satisfaction at the core of its belief system. To that end, a company-wide service culture called Achieving Partner Excellence, or APEX, was fostered to drive the connection between the vision and how we deliver on that promise. Today, FPCU stands over 80,000 members strong, with assets in excess of $1.2 billion. In recent years, Financial Partners has welcomed members of the healthcare industry and other credit unions that chose FPCU as their merger partner. 17 Southern California locations stretch across LA, Orange, and San Diego counties. We've also recently extended our reach northward, opening a branch in San Francisco, bringing us to 18 locations in all. The credit union is an active member of the community, participating in neighborhood events and proud to support local organizations. And to our board and supervisory committee, to whom we owe a great debt of gratitude, thank you so much for your volunteerism and commitment to the long-term success of Financial Partners. From the very beginning, Financial Partners Credit Union has been dedicated to the financial well-being of its member owners. Things change through the years, but one thing doesn't: FPCU's commitment to building lifetime financial partnerships.